Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Website Wednesday. Thanks for joining me again, Teresa. How are you?
I'm great. I'm fabulous.
I'm good. I've been putting the finishing touches on my webinar, one that I'm doing two presentations of, one tomorrow and one next Thursday. So I just want to mention next Wednesday. I keep confusing the two. I should have made them both on the same day. So the daytime one is on a Thursday, the daytime one, oh my God. Anyway, it's down below.
Down below, yeah. And I'm
Down below.
excited. This is going to be great.
Yes, but we have exciting news during that webinar about people's websites also. So make sure if you have not registered, we are up to 50 people on the daytime one, and I forget how many on the nighttime one, but we are almost over our limit. So if you haven't registered yet for the webinar on solving the profit puzzle for your business, making sure you are profitable every single month of every single year going forward, make sure you register for that because I'm teaching a ton. Okay, so let's get into Website Wednesday, which is, we're talking about testimonials today.
Yes, testimonials. And so I was having a conversation last week about somebody who only has a couple of testimonials. And they don't want to put a testimonial page out there yet because they only have a couple. And I agree with that because it opens questions that you don't realize. Like when you go to somebody's website and they have two testimonials, they're like, why do they only have two testimonials? Do people not want to leave a testimonial? Are they so new? They're not very experienced. It opens up these kind of questions. And so they're like, what do I do? So the obvious place, of course, is a testimonial page. Once you start building up some good amount of testimonials, but there's other places that you can use those testimonials until you get a fair amount of testimonials out there. And that's what I thought we could talk about here today, is still putting them to use and making them work for you and your website and not against you.
I love this idea because I never even really thought about it, to tell you the truth. And that's a great point. If you've only got one or two testimonials, it's going to look very bare on its own page. So let's talk about that. But let me add one thing that I point out to my clients when they talk about testimonials, like how do they get more? One of the things that I make sure everyone realizes is that you can ask for testimonials anywhere along the path.
Yes.
Like, right? If you're in the middle of, right? If you're in the middle of a job and someone goes, "Oh my God, I just love what you just did." That's the time you can say, "Hey, do you mind putting a couple of words together for me that you love this sofa?" If you're an interior designer, or with me with coaching, someone will say, "Oh my God, what you just taught me in the last session was so helpful." I'll be like, "Would you mind putting that in an email to me?" So you don't always have to wait till the end.
No, you don't have to wait to the end. And sometimes that statement can be so powerful. You can respond, are you comfortable with me using this on my website, my social media, my whatever the case is, and put it to work for you right away. So it's easy to get them, but you have to ask, can I use this? Can you give me some words?
Definitely, definitely. And even if it's a text, like you said, if they text you, "I am so in love with this,"
Yes.
you could say right then and there what you just said. "Do you mind if I use these words on my website? And do you want me to name you, or do you want me to be do you want to be anonymous?" Once you've got their approval, let it rip and put it on your website. But okay, let's talk about, if you don't have a lot of testimonials, what do you do? Where do you put them?
So you can put them all over the website. And I've got a blog post that gives you some great tips on how to do this. But I'm going to go over some of that here. And the first obvious place is your homepage. Carve out a section on your homepage and put 3 to 5 really stellar, awesome testimonials. Or if you only have the two, carve out a place on your homepage and put those two testimonials there and let them stand out. Because on the homepage, sometimes that's all people look at. They don't go to the other pages, no matter how beautiful they are. They only look at your homepage. So take some of the real estate of the homepage and add those testimonials right there.
Is there a cutesy way to do it if you don't want to? Like, I agree, don't have a testimonial page if you don't have a lot of testimonials.
Yeah.
Pepper them in, and the homepage is an obvious place to put. How can you carve them out so that they look nice and not just plain old listing?
Well, you can use, obviously, depends on the design features. You want to use your design features to do that. But you also want to have like a section to make it clear that this is a separate section that's about testimonials. And then title it something, not just testimonials, but you can use something like what others are saying about me, or don't just take my word for it. And then you want to try and use testimonials. They're somewhat symmetrical, if that makes sense. You don't want to have a testimonial that is this big next to one that is this big. You want to kind of even them out as much as you can. So maybe you'll use a portion of that testimonial. You can use part of it and say, click here to read the whole testimonial, and have a separate little box or something that pops up with the full testimonial. But kind of make it look good and flow with the homepage. You don't want it to look awkward or squished or anything like that. You want it to be just a natural element in the design of the homepage.
Got it. Okay. So what else? If they don't have a lot of testimonials, what else?
Yep. So the About Me page, where you're talking about yourself and what you do, what drove you to do your business, you're telling your story. That's a great place to share some quick little snippets about how great it is to work with you specifically. So that's where you want to use testimonials that aren't so much service specific, but you specific. Because if somebody is taking the time to read their story, they want to know more about you. So why not give them somebody else's insight into how awesome you are?
Yes, absolutely. Now, do you think it's important to put someone's name down if you have the name of the person?
I think names help and they matter, but I think you made a very good point earlier. You have to ask people. You've got to get permission. You have to get permission to use their name or their full name. You have to get permission to reference their business if you're going to do so, to reference whatever. With interior designers, you may not be working, you may be more residential, so you don't have a business to reference. But if you're working with commercial businesses, and you reference their business, you have to have permission. You can open yourself up to some big legalities if you don't have permission to use those testimonials, and you've got to do it in a way that's comfortable to the giver.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Anything else?
So I have lots of them, but I'm going to go.
There's so much always. That's why my brain gets like overwhelmed sometimes.
I know.
It could go on and on forever.
Really quick, and I'll post the blog post because it's a lot of great information. But the contact page is another one where you have those ones that say, oh my God, working with Nancy was the best thing I ever did. Contact her now. Like, that's a great place to put those kind of testimonials. And you only need one stellar testimonial. You don't have to fill these pages with it. Just pepper in, like you said. Sprinkle in a little sparkle to your website with these little testimonials all over the place. The sales page, if you're about to launch something new and you've had beta testers or people who have used that product, you definitely want product specific or service specific testimonials in your sales page, because it's going to help really bring that service to life and make people want to click the buy now button.
You know, this is what's coming to mind is we're getting ready to redo my website. So stay tuned, everybody. But we talked about this, how I have testimonials about my speaking engagements. I have testimonials about my one-on-one. I have testimonial about my group programs. I have testimonials about just membership site people, right? And they're all together right now. And we talked about how we're probably going to start separating them. So I think it's key what you're saying is, if somebody did a testimonial about how great your initial consultation was, then put that on your initial consultation page, right? Or if someone said, oh my God, designer for a day was the best thing ever, put that on your designer for a day description or next to it, somehow tie it in. Really key to make it applicable to the page they're on. What a great idea.
Yeah. And then the one last thing I would say here is that when you're asking for those testimonials, ask for specific details. You know, I love it when somebody says, Teresa's so awesome, call her now, but it really doesn't tell you why I'm awesome. Like, there's got to be a reason they feel that way, not just because of my sunny personality. I've got to be a good web designer. But so ask for specifics, like, what was the experience like in working with me? How did it go with the planning stages of your project? What are the top 3 things that you loved about whatever, ask for specifics. And then don't be afraid to paraphrase and put those things together and say, do you mind if I put this together send it to them and say, does this feel like it's your words? Because I've sent out questionnaires and surveys before where I ask very specific questions and they give me great answers, but they're not really testimonial worthy answers. And so
Right.
I take those answers, put them into paragraph, not filling in my own words, just theirs, and then ask them, are you comfortable with me sharing this? And
Yeah, I love that idea. And I didn't know, before I went through the branding process years ago, where they took a bunch of testimonials and they like shortened them. They took one sentence out of a whole paragraph. They're like, nobody wants to read this whole paragraph. Just take out the one key sentence of what you're trying to relay, let's say.
and let's put it in this spot right here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Put quotes around it and put it in this spot. Or if you're going to put a lot of sentences, highlight or bold, just a couple of words.
Highlight, change the font color. Really, bring in those key words that you're looking for to showcase what you do. Make them stand out and jump out. Absolutely.
Right, because most people these days are scanners, right? They're just scanning.
Yeah. Yep, it's a quick scan, and they're only going to absorb about 30% of what they scan. So make it easy for the stuff you want them to know about you. Make it easy for them to see it.
Great ideas. Okay, so make sure you ask for testimonials along the way, because that is also where you can get specific testimonials, right? Like if they said to you right in the beginning, oh my God, Teresa, this was the best consult already. I've gotten my money's worth and I've only spoken to you on the phone for an hour. Right there, that's a testimonial for your consult.
Yes.
Right? And then let's say you do their whole website and at the end they say, I would have never thought of this, that, and the other thing. That's another testimonial, really, for a different page for the design, let's say.
Right. And I know, like, I have quite a few of my customers who have given me multiple testimonials. I don't replace the old one. I'm using all of those testimonials, whether it be through social media, through newsletters, or my email list, wherever it's appropriate. I use all of their testimonials, even when I've gotten multiple ones from them, because they all have value. They all still showcase what it is to work with me in different ways, different approaches.
And it's funny because people get self-conscious about that. Like, oh, I shouldn't use the same test of person over and over again. But if they're saying different things, plus nobody's tracking you the way you think people are tracking
extras in the lives of the people around us. We're just extras. They're not tracking us as much as we think. Yeah.
That's right. They're just extras in the movie of your life and no one's tracking you that closely.
Exactly.
It's so funny. So, all right. Great tips today. Did we cover them all? Besides, you're going to put your blog post in.
Yeah, the blog post is very detailed this week. It's probably one of my longer ones, but I give you some really good tips on each area of the website and how to make them work for you. So I'll post that in the links to the comments here in a little bit.
Excellent. Okay. And don't forget to attend the webinar that I'm doing tomorrow and one next week, where we have some surprises to offer for people. We'll hear it on the webinar related to your website. So if you have not registered for the Profit Puzzle website, God, I can't even speak. Hopefully I'll be able to speak tomorrow by the time I'm doing the webinar. If you have not registered for the Profit Puzzle webinar, where I will be teaching how to maintain a profitable interior design business, we have some surprises and special announcements related to your website. So be there or be square, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I will talk to you next week for Website Wednesday. Everyone go have a great Wednesday. Go check out your website and see if you've hit on some of these tips that Teresa shared with us today. Thanks, Teresa.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.